prenatal flow for all trimesters. So in today's practice, if you have available 2 yoga blocks and a bolster, great. If not, we can use a stack of blankets or a stack of towels or perhaps a pillow or 2, anything to help make your practice more comfortable. And then once we're ready, we're going to come into a seated cross-legged position. And just allow yourself to go ahead and relax those hands on top of your thighs. And just go ahead and soften your gaze. And just begin to notice in how you're sitting. Letting that pelvis relax out into the ground. Just grounding down into the earth. And just lengthen the spine right out of your pelvis. Letting those shoulders relax down into the back. And just softening the jaw. And just allowing that breath to begin to come in and out through your nose. And just notice the sensations throughout your body. And just notice where you are at today so that you can meet where you're at. We are all unique, and especially as we go through these changes atomically and each stage through the pregnancy, and that every day is a new day. So what may have been your favorite pose yesterday may not be today. So it's important to take this opportunity to listen. And we're going to go ahead and allow ourselves to bring one hand into your baby and one hand into your heart. And just inviting this balanced breath as you breathe down into your heart, sharing that breath down into your baby, and releasing that breath from the baby up into your heart and out through your nose. And as the breath continues to deepen inside, just allow yourself to use that ujjayi breath as your balanced breath to create stability and ease. The sound in the back of your throat, imagine it's a distant waterfall traveling down the spine into your little one. And if you become too warm, breathe in through your nose and gentle sigh through your mouth. Allow yourself to take this opportunity to set your intention for you and your baby connecting here and just practicing together. Slowly bring those hands together into your thighs. And with your next inhale, draw those arms up over the head. And as you exhale, let yourself have a forward fold, bringing those hands out into the front. And then slowly walk yourself back up into your seated position. And let's just go ahead and give an ease of a twist as we lift and twist out to the left. And inhale, come back into the center and give yourself a little guidance as you lift and twist out to the right. And then slowly welcome yourself back into center, and we'll come up into your tabletop, up into those hands and knees. And from your tabletop, let's go ahead and inhale. Lengthen that gaze out towards the top of the mat, letting the belly come down towards the floor into your cow. And then as you exhale, continue to press down through the palms and the tops of your feet as you tuck the tailbone underneath and rounding the spine up into your mad cat. And again, inhale, inviting yourself forward into your cow. And exhale, rounding your spine up into your mad cat. And then again, inhale, drawing yourself out into your cow. And exhale, rounding yourself up into your mad cat. And one more time, inhale into your cow. And exhale, rounding that spine up into your mad cat and holding it here. And see if you can create fish bringing those fingers into your palms and pressing those knuckles down into the floor. And then allow yourself to really tuck that chin way up in towards your chest. And give yourself a little bit more lift through that upper back and mid-back by walking those knuckles in towards your knees. And just taking another round of your breath here. And then as we go ahead and exhale, we're going to release ourselves back into table and invite ourselves to go ahead and bring the back of those hands out into the floor and have those fingers point in towards each other. To help continue to keep our wrist healthy, we're going to go ahead and allow ourselves to curl those fingers in, making fists. And then as you exhale, expand and open those the hands back out into the floor. And then again, inhale, bringing those fingers in towards your palms. And then as you exhale, open those fingers back out into the floor. And once again, inhale, bring those fingers in towards the palms. And exhale, slowly release. And then you can go ahead and release and shake those hands and wrists out. So that's a good way to help relieve any of those carpal tunnel syndrome or symptoms that you may be experiencing as you're pregnant or even postpartum. And then once we're ready, let's bring ourselves back into table. And then from here, let's go ahead and invite those hips to come out towards the right. And as they come out to the right, I'd like you to go ahead and bring those hips down towards the heels and then swoop around to the left side so that you can make a big circle as you come back up into table. And again, bring those hips out to the right, down into the heels, out to the left, and back up into table. And we'll take it 2 more times around. And just allow yourself to really take the time as you let that body just begin to open itself up. And then once we come back up into table, let's go ahead and reverse it, coming out to the left, back into the heels, out to the right, and back up into table. And just offer yourself this opportunity to take the same kindness on this side as you did on that first side. And we'll swoop ourselves around 1 more time, meeting ourselves back up into table. And then from here, go ahead and take your next deep breath in. As you exhale, curl those toes under, and exhale, sit back and towards those heels. Inhale, bringing yourself back up into table, inviting the tops of the feet to the floor. And exhale, curl those toes under, pressing those hips back into the heels. Inhale, back up into table, inviting the top of the feet to the floor. Exhale, curling those toes under, press back into the hips. Inhale into table. And exhale again, curl those toes under, press back into the hips, and come back up into table. And then invite yourself to bring those big toes together, knees nice and wide. Have a seat back into child's pose, walking those fingers out towards the top of the mat. And just give yourself this opportunity to go ahead and take that deep breath in. As you exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Begin to notice and how the breath is here to support you and that little one inside. Inviting that breath to continue to perhaps sinking those hips down towards your heels. Finding yourself lengthening, opening up the spine as you continue to walk those fingers out towards the top. And taking another deep breath in. And with your next exhale, let's lift yourselves back up into table. And then we're just going to go ahead and cover a little bit of your Vinyasa flow to use in your sun salutations that we're going to do next. So if you're in your first trimester, obviously energy levels can be a little bit low. So we can go ahead and modify it a little bit. And we're going to start here in your tabletop position. And as you exhale, we're going to go ahead and shift those hips back into the heels. And then lower ourselves down into our elbows. And leading with the chin, we're going to go ahead and swoop forward up into our fingers so that we can invite those hips to come forward and come up into that upward dog. And then I'll just repeat it 1 more time. So first trimester, having a seat back into the heels, lower those elbows down, bringing the nose forward, and swoop through your arms into upward dog. Once we've reached our second trimester, we can make it a little bit more comfortable for you as well. So allowing yourself to start here in the tabletop position again. We'll go ahead and shift those hips back into the heels. yourself down into the elbows, lead with the nose, and once you come even with the hands, press yourself up like a push-up into tabletop. And again, we'll do it one more time for second trimester, pushing back into the heels, elbows into the floor, lead with the nose, and then press up to table. Now, third trimester, you can continue to take it through that second trimester if that's where you feel comfortable, or you can allow yourself just to focus on those cows and cats. All right, coming back into tabletop, we'll go ahead and curl our toes under, and then we're going to just allow ourselves to lift up into that downward dog. So your downward dog will be like your inversion. So allowing yourself to take that opportunity to really open those feet to be there to support you. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit more in the lower back, or you're tightened through those hamstrings. So give yourself a little give here by bending at the knees and really focus on lifting up into those hips so that you can really get that nice long spine. Continue to ground yourself down through those palms of your hands. And then we're going to go ahead and take your next inhale and walk those fingers back and towards your feet, coming into your Uttanasana. And with your next inhale, let's lengthen our spine into that flat back. And then release yourself back down into Uttanasana. And with your next inhale, swoop those arms up over the head. And release those hands down into your heart. And then we're going to go ahead and move into our sun salutations. Inhale, swoop those arms up over the head. And exhale, sweeping down as you come into that Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, releasing. And then walking those fingers forward into your downward dog. And allow yourself to take 3 rounds of your breath here by taking that deep breath in through your nose and releasing out through your mouth. Again, taking that deep breath in and release out through your mouth. And one more, taking a deep breath in and release out through your mouth. And with your next inhale, lower yourself down into your table and then stepping that left foot out towards the top of the mat. And then once you have those toes out in front of the knee, let's go ahead and invite those hands up on top of your thigh. And then we're going to lengthen our right arm straight out from that shoulder. And with your next inhale, I'd like to take that right arm and circle it around back and towards that right hip, opening our chest out to the right. Inhale, swing that arm back up around the head, back out to the front. And then inhale, bring it back up and around to the hip. And as you exhale, bring it back up and around to the front. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale and drawing around to the hip. And exhale, bring it back out to the front. Inhale, bring it up and around to the hip. And exhale, bring it back up and around to the front. And then lower those hands down into the floor. And then from here, I'd like you to go ahead and curl those right toes under and step forward towards the top of the mat. And lower those hips down and towards the floor. And then from here, if you have something to bring underneath to help ease those hips down into your seated squat, please feel free. Or just bring yourself into a squat position that's comfortable for you. And really focus on letting your arms come into those inner thighs and see if you can press those upper arms into your thighs and squeeze those thighs around your upper arms so that you can begin to soften in through the pelvis, softening through your hips, pulling that spine up nice and tall. And then taking another round of your breath. And as you exhale, we're going to release those fingers down and towards the floor and lengthen ourselves up into a Uttanasana. And you can remove that prop again off to the top of the mat. Inhale, give me a flat back. And exhale, release yourself back down. And then we're going to step your left foot back into that running stretch, inviting the knee to the ground. Inhale, inviting those hands to the top of that right thigh. Inhale, lengthen that left arm straight up from the shoulder. Inhale, reaching up and around back into that left hip. And exhale, bring it back up and around to the front. Inhale, sweeping it up and around into the hip. Exhale, up and around to the front. Inhale, up and around to the hip. Exhale, back up and around to the front. Inhale, reaching up and around to the hip. Exhale, back up and around to the front. Lower those hands to the floor and step back into your table. Working through that Vinyasa of your choice. First and second trimester, taking it from here back into the hips. Lower yourself down to the elbows. Lead with the nose, either upward dog or into table. And then everyone curl your toes under and lift up into your downward dog. And again, we'll take 3 breaths here. Taking that deep breath in, and as you exhale, sigh out through your mouth. And again, taking that deep breath in, exhale out through your mouth. And one more breath. And then walk those fingers back in towards your toes. Inhale, lengthening your spine. And exhale, releasing. And then draw those arms up over the head. And release them down into your heart. Inhale, sweeping those arms up over the head. And exhale, fold and over. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, releasing. Walking those fingers out into downward dog. And taking 3 complete breaths here, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through your mouth. Taking that deep breath in and exhaling through your mouth. And one more breath. Lower yourself down into your table and stepping the right foot forward into your deep running stretch. And with your next inhale, come up and salute. And allow yourself to continue to think about stabilizing in through your spine by squeezing those inner thighs inward. And then continue to draw those arms straight up over the head. And then taking another round of your breath. And as you exhale, lower those hands down into the ground and step the left foot forward up towards the top of the mat. Again, you can grab the prop if you have one and bring it down so that you can lower those hips down and towards your prop. Pressing those upper arms in towards your thighs, squeezing those thighs around the upper arms, and continue to help lengthen up and through the top of your head. Taking another round of your breath. And as we exhale, release those hands down into the floor, straighten up into Uttanasana. Remove your prop off of your mat. And then stepping your right foot back into that deep running stretch, and lower that right knee down and towards the floor. And inhale, come up and salute. And again, stabilizing here as you lengthen up and through those fingertips. And just taking another round of your breath. And as you exhale, release those hands down to the floor and step back into table. And moving into that Vinyasa of your level. Exhale, lower yourself down into the heels, elbows to the floor, leading with the chin, and press up into table or upward dog. Curl those toes under, lift yourself up into your downward dog. Taking 3 complete breaths. Exhaling out through your mouth. And then 2 more. And 1 more. And then walking those fingers back and towards your feet. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, sweeping those arms up over the head. And release those hands down into your heart. Inhale, sweeping those arms up over the head. And exhale, folding over. Inhale, lengthening your spine. Exhale, releasing. Walking those fingers out towards the top of the mat into your downward dog. 3 complete breaths. Exhaling through the mouth. One more. Lower yourself down into your table and step that left foot forward up towards the top of the mat. And then you have the option here to keep that right knee down and towards the floor, or curl those right toes in underneath, and as you're ready, come up and salute. And we'll take 2 full breaths here. And as you exhale, lower those hands down and towards the floor. And then go ahead and step that right foot forward up towards the top of the mat. Grabbing your prop if you need to place underneath the hips. And lower yourself down into your seated squat. And perhaps now as we begin to find ourselves coming a little bit warmer, we can find more ease into that seated squat. And just continue to allow yourself to remind yourself to make room for that little one inside to help push against those thighs. And take that next deep breath in. And as you exhale, release those hands down into the floor. And we'll step that left foot back into your running stretch. Feel free to invite that left knee down into the floor if you wish. Inhale, come up and salute. And then we'll again take 2 more rounds of your breath here. Another breath in, and as we exhale, let's release those hands down into the floor, and then lower that left knee into the floor, step back into your table, and then exhale, bring those hips back into the heels, lower yourself down into your elbows, lead with the chin and the nose, and press up into upward dog or table. Exhale, curl those toes under, and lift up into your downward dog. And taking 2 more full breaths here. Releasing out through the mouth. And 1 more. Then inhale, walk those fingers back and towards your toes. Inhale, lengthening your spine. And exhale, releasing. Inhale, sweeping those arms up over the head. And release those hands down into your heart. And release. Okay, and then from there, if you can, try to bring your mat so you're closer into the wall. We're going to use the wall for some balance, and then also have a block nearby. So we're going to go ahead and start with your inside or outside of your right foot into the wall, and then holding onto the wall for some balance. We're going to go ahead and invite that left foot to come out so we can open ourselves out here into Warrior 2. And as you begin to settle into your Warrior 2, become aware of what's going on with your body. Perhaps that little one is favoring into one side. So see if you can allow yourself to shift the hips a little bit back and forth to just begin to find that center. And as you find that center, really focus on allowing yourself to open across those hips. Continue to use your stabilizers to help ground yourself down through both feet. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and begin to let this left or right hand come down and towards your baby. Inhale, reach that left arm up over the head into that reverse warrior. And as we exhale, we're going to switch those hands. So the right arm is going to come up over the head into your side angle pose. Inhale, bring yourself back up into reverse warrior, cradling that little one inside. And exhale, switch those arms, coming back out into your side angle pose. Inhale, draw yourself back up into reverse warrior. And exhale, side angle pose. Inhale once again up into that reverse warrior. And exhale into side angle pose. And just allow yourself to stay here and see if you can continue to perhaps turn and open that right armpit up and towards the ceiling. And take another round of your breath. And with your next inhale, go ahead and draw yourself back up into Warrior 2. And then from there, let's go ahead and straighten up that left leg. You can invite your block into the inside of that left foot. And so again, as you've been settling in, noticing sensations through your body, perhaps some of you may be experiencing a little SI problems, where it's occurring to have a little more pressure here down near the tailbone or deep into those glutes. If that is your case for today, I would like you to go ahead and bring those right toes and face out towards the top of your mat so that you can go ahead and inhale, reach those arms up over the head, and as you exhale, just fold over and let yourself use that block to help lengthen out through your spine so you can press evenly into both hips and both heels. If your hips and SI joints are happy, then we'll go ahead and allow ourselves to stay from here and reach out and lower yourself down into your triangle of your level. So whether it's just inviting that hand into the thigh, or perhaps just below the knee, or again, we can use that block. And as you come into the triangle, again, see if you can shift the hips towards that right foot, and really give yourself this opportunity to open up across the chest, drawing those right fingers right up over your left. And just continue to let those ribs settle out towards the top of the head to help lengthen out through your spine. And we'll take another round of your breath here. And then as you exhale, we're all going to go ahead and bring that right hand down and towards the floor. And then begin to turn out towards the top of the mat so we can lower that right knee down towards the floor. And as you bring that right knee down to the floor, place the top of that right foot into the floor, and we can continue to use this block where you can set it up towards the top of the mat. And I want you to go ahead and walk those left toes out towards the top of the mat so we can get a deeper stretch here into that low lunge. And just take a couple breaths here and really focus on letting yourself open that right thigh, right psoas. But remind yourself that that relaxin hormone is really kicking in on you. So perhaps even find yourself just to have a little control here and just work into what's comfortable for you. And then as we continue to take another round of your breath, I want you to go ahead and take your next exhale and see if you can shift those hips towards your right foot, straight to the back, and let yourself lift the left toes up off the floor. And just give yourself a little bit of a length and opening stretch for that left hamstring, lengthening, opening that left calf as you continue to push out through your heel, pulling those toes up and towards your shin. And then take another round of your breath. And as you exhale, come back into that lunge position, and we can go ahead and move that block off to the left side so we can step that left foot back into your table. And let's do that Vinyasa again. So taking those hips back into the heels, lower those elbows to the floor, swoop through into upper dog or press up into table. Curl those toes under and lift yourself up into your downward dog. And then inhale, walk those fingers back and towards your toes. Inhale, lengthening your spine. And exhale, release. Inhale, swooping those arms up over the head, and release those hands down into your heart. And then from there, let's go ahead and invite ourselves to turn that left foot into the wall, and invite the right foot out and towards the top of your mat. And then as you're ready, exhale, lower yourself down into your warrior two. And again, perhaps give yourself this opportunity to sway back and forth in those hips and just let them soften so that you can begin to focus on opening up across the hips as you come into that warrior two. And then from there, we'll release that left hand down around the baby. Inhale, reaching that right arm up over the head into that reverse warrior. And exhale, switching those arms as you come into your side angle pose. Inhale, back up into that reverse warrior. And exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. And allow yourself to stay here and continue to turn and open the gaze up and towards the ceiling, perhaps even opening that left armpit up and towards the ceiling. And just see if you can allow yourself to really lengthen those ribs out towards the top of the mat. And take another round of your breath. And with your next inhale, draw yourself back up into warrior two. And then from there, let's go ahead and straighten up that right leg and invite that block in towards your right foot or right shin. And again, if you find that you're having some SI issues going on, please feel free to turn that left foot out towards the top of the mat so that you can square yourself up and inhale, lengthen up through your arms to come out into that forward fold. Otherwise, let's go ahead and reach out through those right fingers and lower yourself down into your triangle. Again, find your triangle where you need to be today. Perhaps it's inviting that hand to come more up into the thigh so that you have more stability here. Or perhaps you can walk it down below the knee. And just really take this opportunity to really focus on lengthening out that spine by pressing back into your hips and out through the top of the head. And take another round of your breath. And as you exhale, let's go ahead and release those hands down towards your right foot so that we can go ahead and turn that left foot out towards the top of the mat and bring that left knee down into the floor, left top of the foot to the floor, walking our block and our right foot out towards the top of the mat, and then begin to shift those hips out towards the top of the mat. And just see if you can allow yourself to, again, give yourself the kindness here as you open up that left hip, left thigh, and just taking a couple more rounds of your breath. And with your next exhale, we're going to shift those hips back and towards that left foot as we peel those right toes up off the floor. And again, you can use whatever prop you have available to help give yourself a little support here so you can pull those right toes in towards the shin and really lengthen out through that heel to help open and release that right calf and right hamstring. And taking another deep breath in, as we exhale, we're going to go ahead and slowly come back up into that lunge, remove that prop so we can step back into your table. And last time on that little Vinyasa flow, exhale, press those hips back into the heels, lower yourself down into your elbows, lead with the chin and heart, and come up into table or upward dog. Curl those toes under and downward dog. And then with your next inhale, walk those fingers back and towards your toes. Inhale, lengthening your spine. And exhale, release. Inhale, sweep those arms up over the head and release them down into your heart. And then we'll go ahead and work on a little bit of a balance. So with your balance for today, we're going to go ahead and allow ourselves to continue to use the wall. So if you're in your first trimester, you can continue to do warrior three away from the wall. If you're in your second trimester, I'm going to encourage you to bring the top of your head into the wall. And if you're in your third trimester, let's just focus on perhaps even using the fingers for added support into the wall. So depending on which position you're in, we'll all face towards the wall. And then just let those right toes come out towards the back. And then just see if you can allow yourself to go ahead and invite those fingers into the wall so that as you go ahead and take your next exhale, we can all go ahead and lift that right foot up and just making sure that our hips are staying square so that our toes point down towards the wall. So if you're in your third trimester, perhaps this is where we'll stay. If you're in your second trimester, continue to perhaps invite yourself down so that you can place the top of the head into the wall and then open those arms out into your T. And if you're in your first trimester, give yourself a little space or distance from that wall as you continue to press out through that right heel and inviting those arms out into your T. And take another round of your breath. And then as you exhale, let's go ahead and invite those fingers back into the wall and then lower that right foot down as we come up away from the wall and shake those legs out. And then when we're ready, we'll step that left foot towards the top of the mat or back behind us. And then again, invite those fingers into the wall and let ourselves go ahead and begin to lean out towards the wall as we begin to press out through that left heel. And then again, see if you can bring that left hip down towards the floor to keep yourself square. So the toes point down into the floor. Third trimester may find themselves staying here. Second trimester may come a little bit further down and invite the top of the head into the wall, and then let those arms open out into your T. And then first trimester may find a little distance between the wall and their head as they come into that warrior three. Take another round of your breath, and then as you exhale, bring those fingers back into the wall, and then begin to ease yourself back up into standing, and then shake that out. And then we'll go ahead and allow ourselves to come out into the room and grab your block, or perhaps just a folded towel, and see if we can allow ourselves to focus on some of that leg strength that we'll need for labor. So we like to use the wall sit to kind of work ourselves to prepare what a contraction will feel like. So we're going to go ahead and place that blanket or a block in between your thighs, and then come back into the wall so that you can lower yourself down into that wall sit. And that wall sit doesn't have to be very low. You can just allow yourself to press that lower back into the wall, shoulders up into the wall, the back of the head into the wall. So as you begin to sit here into this wall sit, you may begin to notice and how much legs strength you have. So allowing yourself to really think about squeezing that prop in between your thighs. So even though we have this wonderful work going on down here in that lower body region, we're reminding ourselves that we're okay, that our upper body can just hang out and have fun while this is all going on down here. So we'll take another deep breath in, and then as we exhale, we're going to go ahead and use that wall to help walk ourselves back up. You can remove that prop for a moment, shake out those legs, and we're going to do one more contraction. So allow ourselves to place the head block or prop between your legs again. Come back down into that wall sit. And then as you continue to focus on inviting that spine into the wall, let's go ahead and inhale and bring those arms out to the front. So as we continue to find ourselves working here, just kind of keep reminding yourself this will ride its way through. So inhale, bring those arms up over the head. And perhaps even invite a smile into your face. And then open those arms into goalposts. We're almost there. See if you can continue to breathe. And then with your next inhale, draw those arms back up over the head. And then bring those arms back out, even with the shoulders. And release those arms down on your side. And go ahead and ease yourself out of this pose. And shake those legs out. So you can continue to work on those wall sits and just prepare yourself for labor, to build this lower body strength, but also just to give yourself that feel of a little challenge of where you have work and how to keep yourself calm and collected up above. And so once we're ready, we're going to come back out into your mats. And as you come back out into your mats from here, if you're in your third trimester, I'm going to encourage you to stay in the standing position, feet open about hip distance wide. If you're in your first and second trimester, you can go ahead and come down on your back for your bridge. So if you're in your bridge, allow yourself to remind that the feet are open hip distance wide, heels close in towards the hips. And then we're just going to do a couple pelvic tilts here. So allowing yourself to go ahead and tuck that tailbone underneath as we lift those hips up off the floor. And then as you inhale, go ahead and slowly release yourself back down. So it's just a little bit of a cat and cow in that standing version. And especially in the third trimester, this is even helpful to keep reminding yourself and how to ride those waves as you continue to perhaps find some lower back tightness. This also helps to guide that baby to realize in the position of where it needs to go. So if we're down on the floor into those bridges or pelvic tilts here on the floor, we can even use this opportunity to go ahead and add a little bit more. As you inhale, bring those arms up over the head as you lift those hips up. And as you exhale, lower yourself back down, nice and slow with those arms to your side. And let's just do 3 more. Inhale, bring those arms and hips up. And as you exhale, lower yourself back down, nice and slow. Inhale, drawing yourself all the way up over the head. And exhale, lower yourself back down. And then 1 more. And exhale, lower yourself back down. And then let's go ahead and roll ourselves over to the left side. And then we'll have everyone come down into a seated position, sitting up nice and tall with those legs straight out into the front. And sitting up nice and tall, let's just go ahead and invite our left foot into the floor for that Mariasana variation. So just give yourself a reminder, we always want to have room for that little one inside. So from here, we're going to go ahead and invite this left hand to the inside of our left shin, left foot. Use this right hand back behind us. And continue to press out through that right heel. Begin to lift and twist out towards your right. So using your left hand to help press away from that left leg, and then using that right hand to help guide yourself up nice and tall through the top of the head. We'll take another deep breath here. And then as we exhale, we're going to go ahead and slowly release. And then bring yourselves back square towards the top of the mat. And then from there, just go ahead and invite that right hand on top of that left shin below the knee. Place that left hand just to the outside of that left hip. And we're going to continue to keep our sit bones connected down into the ground. And then lifting from the ribs, lift yourself up through the chest and the head, and just give yourself a little bit of a twist out to the left. And then take another round of your breath. And then as you exhale, we're going to go ahead and slowly release. And then we'll switch those legs to invite that right foot into the floor, left leg lengthened out. Right hand sliding into the inside of that right shin. Left hand coming back behind the sit bones. And then just begin to lift and twist out to the left. And allow yourself to continue to press this right arm in towards that right leg. And use that left hand back behind you to push up and through your sit bones to help lengthen up to the top of your head. And take another round of your breath. And as you exhale, then go ahead and slowly release. Wrapping that left hand around that right shin, right hand back behind you. And keeping ourselves grounded through those sit bones. And then inhale, lift up and through your ribs and take the gaze out towards your right. And then taking another round of your breath. And as you exhale, let's go ahead and slowly release and slide those legs out together into your staff pose. And then inhale, reach up over the head. And as you exhale, fold over, letting those hands come down towards your shins or your heels. And just see if you can continue to give yourself a little room here. So if the feet need to come out a little bit wider, it's okay to work on that forward fold. And then let's go ahead and inhale, walk yourself back up into your seated position. And then from there, let's open those legs out into your wide seated angle. Pressing those hands back behind the hips so we can continue to invite the back of those thighs and calves out into the floor and sitting up nice and tall, rolling those shoulders down into your back. And then once we're ready, invite those hands out into the front and then walk yourself out into a forward fold. And remind yourself that today in this forward fold, the hands may be closer into you, and that's okay. Just meeting yourself and where you're at, without any judgment, without any restrictions. And then let's go go ahead and slowly walk yourselves back up into your seated position. And then we're going to go ahead and do one more pose, but I want to have you go ahead and prop yourself up for your Shavasana in the meantime. So I would like you to go ahead and place a block, if you have them, if that's what you're using, one up higher, one down lower. And then you can place your bolster in an incline. If you're not using blocks, it's okay. Whatever you can do to prop up your props that you have so that you have a little bit of an incline. We want to prevent ourselves from laying flat. And then once we're ready, we'll meet back up and have a seat in front of your props. And bring those feet together into your cobbler's pose. And holding on to those shins or ankles and pulling that spine up nice and tall. And just see if you can allow yourself to take another round of your breath. And as you exhale, I want you to release out through your mouth and feel that breath helping to ease and let go in through those inner thighs. And again, take that deep breath in. And as you exhale, release out through your mouth. And take that deep breath in. And exhale out through your mouth. And then let's go ahead and let those hands come on the outside of your hips so that you can go ahead and begin to recline yourself back into your props. And just allow yourself to have the support here into the spine. And then as we begin to prepare yourself for your Shavasana, you may have options here. If this feels like it's pulling too much in for your hips or not comfortable, it's okay to bring those knees back up and perhaps even allowing yourself to invite those knees to come in towards each other. That should take off some pressure in through the lower back. Or if you like, you can slide your legs out to straight and let those ankles become soft as they roll out into the floor. And just letting those arms drape out to the sides. And just begin to settle into your props of your choice. And just begin to become aware of the breath. As you begin to settle into your Shavasana. And just give yourself this gentle reminder that yoga is a wonderful tool to help prepare yourself for labor, to becoming a new parent, and to learn how to balance opposites of effort and relaxation. So now, give yourself this opportunity to consciously relax each part by taking that deep breath in and drawing yourself down to the soles of your feet, relaxing each toe, the top and bottoms of your feet, your ankles, your shins, your knees, your thighs, your pelvis and hips, your stomach, your mid-back, your chest and upper back. Drawing yourself down into the arms, softening those elbows, lengthening through those forearms. To release the wrist and your palms. Just relaxing each finger. And drawing yourself back up into your arms, into your shoulders. Let the shoulders roll back. As they come into the neck. And just lengthening that neck to invite those ears further away from the shoulders. So as you bring your awareness into your jaw, soften the jaw and relax those lines around the forehead. Letting yourself settle into the back of your skull. And just allow your baby to come deeper into relaxation too. The peace and quiet bringing both of you deeper into stillness. Letting any sounds pass like a gentle wave in the ocean, with the peak at the beginning and at the end of each wave. And same for any thoughts or emotions. Notice them as a passing wave, having a beginning and an end. And let the breath be that gentle wave coming in and out. Letting go. Stepping deeper into your peace. Deeper into your quiet. And just enjoy this little time with your little one. Slowly begin to deepen your breath, drawing your awareness back into the space, feeling the gentle rise and fall of each breath, and just welcoming the smallest movements as you wiggle out through your toes or your fingers. Perhaps inviting that head turn from side to side. And allowing yourself to go ahead and invite those feet to come back into the floor. And just give yourself a little windshield wiper as you let those knees go from side to side. Once you're ready, just go ahead and lift the hips so you can go ahead and turn yourself out towards the left side. Continue to have that support from underneath. And then invite those fingers to come into the floor to give yourself a little support as you walk yourself back up into your seated position. We'll go ahead and invite those hands again to come into one into your baby and then one into your heart. And just close those eyes and begin to settle back inside. And as we begin to bring our practice to a close, just offer yourself this opportunity to share a moment of gratitude, not only for yourself, for the little one that's inside. We're just taking this opportunity to connect, to practice together. We're bringing those hands together into your prayer. I thank you for taking this time to listen and to be where you need to be. The light in me bows and honors that light in you, as well as in that little one inside. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.